Alright, greetings family. This is Kali, the Master Headhunter, the Dark Moon Priestess. Okay, so my last video, I shared with you some books, and I also spoke on why there's so much division right now with the males and the conscious community and all that, jazz. Because the grandmother, the great mother, Tiamat, she has so many names, Gaia, she's coming back. And there is no love when she's coming back. She's just chaotic, and she gonna do her, and she gonna do what's needed, but a lot of people can't handle and accept that, and that's on them. It's on you. Nobody can save you but yourself. So I want to go into a little bit of depth talking about these two books, the Terra Papers and the Babylonian Genesis. Okay, so I actually read this first. It took me 2 nights to read the Terra Papers. I read this whole book in one night, and then I read the second one the next night, because I just love when something captivates my attention, I'm on it. And like I said, it talks about the Incan and Little story. It also goes into detail, which I've never heard anybody talking about, to be honest. I think I just recently heard young Pharaoh speaking about the Shetty, however you want to, it's the Greys, for lack of better terms. Not all the Greys, but it's a certain group of reptilian, draconian Greys. Okay. Now, the Terra Papers, Robert Morning Sky, which I should have put that in the last one, you guys, but I apologize. I'll put the links down below on my last video. That'll be uploaded before this one. It starts off by saying we're not alone. The astronomers are wrong. The scientists are wrong. They are here, but we cannot see them because they hide. They hide in plain sight. We are the servants. We are their slaves. We are their property. We are theirs. Robert Morning Sky. And that's right here. Okay. Now, like I said, I downloaded this off the internet because I was really interested in reading this. I'm not distributing. This is for my own personal, disclaimers, for my own personal research. Okay, that's why I have printer. That's why I have computers, laptops, all that stuff. Okay. Now, it starts off by talking about star beings and 6 people who came in this knowledge, which he wants to say his grandfather was one of them, and this being, star visitor, called Bekti or Bektai, however you want to look at it. So he goes on to talk about his story and to talk about how he was trying to get into the UFO community, and it just wasn't working for him. So it goes on to talk about how this is the history of man and earth. It's frightening and exciting at the same time. It talks about abductions. It talks about how the gray beings are been a part of man's history, and all this is that and the third. It talks about in the beginning how Zeus, the Minotaur, Osiris, and Isis are mythical beings that are explained and placed in the framework of the planet Earth. And that's how the story begins. Then it goes into the story of Bekti, where it talks about the Genesis and the nothingness of the void. And it goes into this galaxy that is called Iridanus. And then it talks about Earth. And then it talks about how we're all connected. And this, that, and the third. It goes on to talk about the different beings and all that stuff, which Iridanus is like the waters of Nun, for lack of better terms. It shows the different types of men. You have insect men, you have reptilian men, you have Iridanus men, which is right here. You have, I said insect, reptilian, and then you have your grays. So it goes into all those depths. And then it talks about the SSS Empire, however you want to look at it, where it goes into talking about the royals and the Set queens, Aset, which people call Isis, Aset. We spelled it differently, but AST, You see what I'm saying? So anyhow, it talks about who they were, dragon-like beings, blah 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 blah, and then it goes into the Aryans, Orion, Aryans. You know what I mean? Aryan, ARI-AN. Okay. Well, it goes on to talk about how the Set Queens realized that Anu and his crew, which come from the Dog Star, how they were vicious and they was a force to be reckoned with. So in the wisdom of the queens, the Set Queens, they realized we need to make them an ally, because if we don't, we're going to lose a lot defeating them. So let's make them an ally so that we won't have this trouble and we can continue ruling. So basically that's what happens. And then it goes into talking about the beings from Mars, which people call Martians, you know, and it talks about they have MK or MG words for them. It goes into the Latin and all that. It's talking about MK is the name of the crocodile, Mech, MEK, protector, protection, MQ, to slay into pieces. So it just goes into different things, you know. Anyway, and then it goes on to say how the Aryans start fighting against each other and blasey, blasey, blasey. And it goes on, like I said, it talks about how these beings on planet Earth, which were cousins of the Aryans, they ended up defeating, because, you know, all the jealousy and all that. I haven't read the story in a while, but I'm just kind of briefly giving you a synopsis. How that goes on to fighting their cousins, which was, it wasn't Earth then, it was called something else. I'm kind of moving ahead. I will give you a more in-depth. I'm just giving a Reader's Digest version of it. And then, of course, you have the RRR Kings, which are Asar, you know, which is Anu and all his crew. So I'm trying to find a certain Anu ends up, you know, coming. It wasn't called Earth then, it was called something else. He fought his cousin. They destroyed Earth. It wasn't called Earth then, okay, so let's just use that. They destroyed it. The ladies was furious, for lack of better terms, the queens. And so Anu sent Prince E, some people say Prince E, Inky, down here, because he's a grand scientist. They sent him down here to redo the Earth. So he had to set the atmosphere, had to put all these poisonous gases in place so it can be breathable, because it was non-breathable. It was very poisonous. So he had to make it inhabitable. Okay, and they basically, this Earth is a resort. It's a resort. Okay, it's basically, and it's a learning center, but it's a resort initially. Okay, so what ends up happening, it was called Tiamat. Okay, Tiamat. Okay, so lack of better terms, and you have the Dakamu, which were the beings from Mars, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to correlate this in a minute. Just give me a second. So they had this big fight, screwed up things, and like I said, he sent his son down here. I'm trying to get to the part where it talks about the rebel, Shetty. Okay, give me just a second. Working with it. Let's see here where we at. So Prince E came down here, and he rebuilt the place. And him and his brother Enlil was forever fighting, because E, I think, was supposed to be like a half brother, and Enlil was the mother, was born from Anu's wife instead of like his consort. Where did we get that story from? Let's see. Created man and all that other stuff, and I probably could be reading over it, because it's like I said, it's been a while. Most of the time they have it out in the open where you can see it, but because they emphasize certain words. Man was called the Adamic beast, for lack of better terms, at first. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Alright, that was the part I was trying to find. So, All right, well, this is where you get into the rebellious lizards. A form of lizard that lived underground, from where the reptilians or the draconians come from. Okay, so I'm going to speak a little bit on this. High above within the stars of the Aryan Empire, Marduk would find an ally. So now he's trying to really go against the queens at this point. Marduk, which is Eve's son, is trying to go against the queens because it talks about in the book of Babylonian Genesis how Marduk, they sent him up there to kill the great mother so that they can come down here and rule and be over things and blah blah blah. All right, so Marduk would find an ally, an ages-old enemy of Anu and the queens of the Set throne. Okay, or SSS/T throne, known as Sata. Where have we heard that from? SSA/TA, Sata. Underground ones is what that means. They were a part of a reptilian rebel group who inhabited huge caverns within the worlds of the Aryan, which is the ladies, okay? Their kingdom. Constantly threatening the queens in power, they unceasingly searched for new ways to undermine the rule of the queens. Okay. Despised and dreaded, the Sata rebels gave audience to the prince, which is Marduk, promising them great wealth and power and full participation in his empire in exchange for their support. A daunting Marduk elicited their support. Now, eagerly, the Sata seized the opportunity to support an effort against the Asar, which is the queens, by weakening the Dak Empire, which DAK, they came from Mars, okay? So, too, the queens would be weakened. Perhaps enough so that their own rebellion in Aryan would succeed, meaning the Sata, or they've been trying to have a rebellion in the Aryan Empire for a long time. Okay, because they felt excluded, they felt like nobodies, and didn't nobody give a crap, so they was haters. Okay, sending a commune, I could be saying that wrong, commune throughout the Aryan Empire to their allies. The Sata, the Greys, raised huge numbers of warriors, each a dedicated and willing enemy of the Sata queen, of the Set queens. Set queens, like Set, Soot, the enemy of Horus, Set. Yeah, okay. I kind of said that wrong earlier, but follow me. Okay. So, by secretly supporting Marduk, which means they did not really support him, they was fooling him as well, because they wanted to rule, which they are the ones who have been pulling the wool over everybody's eyes for the last 6,000 years, has been some bullshit. Okay? So, this shit got really crazy. Alright. By secretly supporting Marduk, success in the takeover of the Eridu colonies, which is down here on Earth, would give the Sata rebels a tremendous stranglehold on the ninth passageway, which is Dark Matter Drives, which is Deep Space Nine. Okay, the Set queens would have to negotiate with them, is what they thought. Okay. Should the rebellion not succeed, the death of Marduk would satisfy both the Syrians and the queen. The failure of a civil war far away from the Set empire would be tolerated by the queens because they have bigger matters to deal with, right? So that's what pretty much came in and happened. The Sata rebels, which are your Greys, your reptilians. Okay, now they're like, well, let's say this. They're not so much the Greys. Let me stop. They are the rebellious draconians or reptilians that had a problem with the ladies, with the Set queens. Okay. Now, this is where we come in, hold on, y'all. I done lost track. Okay. I'm trying to keep my papers together, right? So this is where they come in and they speak of, well, actually the Satai lizards, okay, lizards, all right. They trained to infiltrate the Hinti workers, which were like the hybrids of the Adapa, which is the humans. Okay, and they said that let's see. In the short time, okay, I'm skipping. All right, as the Hinti hybrids had moved up in the ranks of Prince Enlil's administration, which I done basically left that part out. We'll talk about all this later. I'll go over this in depth later. They became known as the Tchet, or whatever. Those are the Tchet. The word being Enlil. Okay, referred to the Sheti or the Shet by the administration members of Enlil. So that's when you have the Sheti, the Shetai, come in and infiltrate, which were the Greys. They came in and infiltrated the whole situation. And that's why we're in the predicament we are now, why we have a shadow government, and etc., etc. Now, that's only the first book, and I only gave you like a very brief version. The Babylonian Genesis talks about how Marduk came in. It doesn't give you the little slimy details now. The Terra Papers give you more detail than the Babylonian Genesis, but it does talk about the grandmother, Tiamat. How Marduk called himself, he killed her. And he took parts of her body and made humans, which made melanated beings, okay, which have stardust, okay. So basically, they are the ones. Your Inky, which is basically Yaldabaoth. You know, the Nag Hammadi scriptures go into that very detailed. Yaldabaoth, which consists of Inky, his son Marduk, Jesus, you know, they are the ones who have you, they rule over the natural laws of nature. Okay, and I'm not trying to be funny, but when you hear people say we have to get back to nature, we have to get back to nature. So basically what they want you to do, and I'm not throwing shade to anybody, but basically what they want you to do is they want you to continue to be reincarnated into this place so that we can still be ruled over, for a lack of better terms. Now, if you want to continue to be ruled over, and I know I'm skipping around, so if you have questions, leave them down below, and I will make videos according to your questions. Now, if you want to continue to be ruled over in this matrix, then you are going to follow the natural laws of nature. Okay? Which, if you don't give a shit about the natural law, if you don't care about Yaldabaoth, which is Inky, which is Jesus, which is your God in heaven, and blah, 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 because the real heaven is in the Duat, which is the underworld, which is the inner earth, the core. Okay? So, if you are really into Sky Daddy Jesus, and if you really want to follow the natural laws of nature, that is what these beings, the Sheti, the reptilians, for lack of better terms, because the Draconian mother is really the one that everybody's telling you to be against. She's Satan. She talks about her in the book of Revelations and all that stuff. Now, if you want to follow the natural laws of nature and you don't mind being reincarnated into this mess, if you don't mind being ruled over, then you follow the natural laws of nature. Okay? Again, what you believe and what you think is totally your decision. I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm just putting knowledge out here so that you can understand. I'm putting a different perspective out here. I don't want you to believe what I'm saying. I don't want you to gravitate towards my ideology. I'm just basically telling you the things that I've learned because I am in contact with the grandmother. I have been downloaded I've been downloaded information from the demonic mother, from Satan, for lack of better terms, from Lucifer, the grandmother, the great mother, Tiamat. I have downloads from that energy. So don't be mad at me. Before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, go do the research. The Nag Hammadi scriptures, the Nag Hammadi library is a good place to start. The Babylonian Genesis, like I said, the Terra Papers go into some detail. Just go on Google and research Yaldabaoth. Look at your Bible, for crying out loud. The things that God and Jesus talks about, it's like, are you serious? Like they say, don't, and then the Christians say, don't mess with the Old Testament because the New Testament is what's happening. What, are you serious? So it's like a lot of contradicting information. But I'm just here to shed some light on some things because I see people being led astray. And when I realized something was wrong, I pulled back because I was out of order as to what my being is here to do. And I was so afraid to tell you guys the truth. I was so scared that I would be rejected. But I don't give a damn about that. I don't give a damn about all that. I don't follow the natural orders of nature anymore because I realized that I was getting sick when I started following the natural laws of nature. And it wasn't working for me. I was exhausted. As you can see, I have so much energy right now. But I don't follow the natural laws of nature anymore because I do not want to be reincarnated back into this realm with this bullshit going on. Because it's artificial. It's an illusion. It's a matrix that we have been caught up under. And the planet is quarantined. You're not going to be allowed to get out of it. It has to be dealt with, And if you don't want to be a part of the solution, then you're a part of the problem. Like I said, I'm not pushing my ideology off on people. I'm just giving you a different perspective. Go research. So, when you think about it, I'm trying to look at my notes here. So when people talk about, let's say, how they call Satan evil, right? Well, when you go into the word evil just means primal. That's it. It means primal. That's like ancient, before all this new stuff that we know now. That was how we operated. When you want to go back, when you want to talk about Atlantis and all those other situations and civilizations before pre-dynastic times, which people just want to gravitate to Egypt. When you look at pre-dynastic Kemet, okay, pre-dynastic Nubia, they work with the Dark Mother and that dark matter energy. Okay, so when you look at these things and you realize what they call hell is really heaven. What they call hell is really the Duat, the inner earth, I just said it earlier. That's the realm where our ancestors go. You know what I mean? The underworld, for lack of better terms. If you go into Greek mythology, which really is black folk stuff, and do your research, don't take my word for it. Greek mythology talks about this, where it goes into depth. It talks about Zeus and Kronos. Zeus is Yaldabaoth too. He's the ruler of the air and the water, for lack of better terms. He doesn't rule over anything else. He's really beneath us as melanated beings, to be honest. And if you are still, I want to say this, I want to say this, and I know I'm going to get some flack for it. If you still are following or conjuring or trying to connect with the gods, the older gods, the ones we was dealing with back in Kemet, I'm going to tell you this because it needs to be said, and people are going to get mad at me, but I don't give a damn. Let's be honest. They reincarnated here on this planet to help us, right? And we mummified them for a reason. So we can always be able to go to them for assistance in the meditation chambers, which people call pyramids. Okay. Now, the reason why I say you really shouldn't be trying to gravitate to them right now, because they have all been captured. They're being held hostage in museums and under the Vatican and other places all over this realm. Okay, this world, this earth. How can they help you right now? Really, how can they help you right now? How they gonna help you right now? Okay, and they've been subdued and captured. Why you think the Europeans, or the cavemen or the Caucasian, why you think they went and got them and hold them in museums? And that's our stuff. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Just waiting. Yeah. Have you figured it out yet? Okay. The queen, the grandmother, sent some information to me. I was sitting here and I was cutting out the pictures, that I wanted on my collage, and they were saying to me, that's good and all, but why do you think that that's irrelevant right now? And I'm like, I don't think it's irrelevant. Well, it is. They've been subdued and captured. How are they gonna help you right now, for real? And see, another thing that was introduced to me years ago and I didn't understand, that is the reason why some of us that are reincarnating in these bodies right now are having such a difficult time. You don't have to believe me. I don't give a damn what you believe. Are having such a difficult time on this realm in these lifetimes. In this lifetime. It's because we've been held hostage. We're in museums all over the damn place and under the Vatican and shit. How are we going to be assistance to our people in that way? I'm just saying. So, don't be mad at me because I allow myself to be downloaded in with information. You don't have to believe me. I don't follow anybody. I haven't gotten this information from any human. These are revelations that have been revealed to me through spiritual contacts. Okay? So, you can take it or leave it. But it is what it is. And what I'm coming with, I ain't never heard no other beings talking about. I haven't heard no other humans, rather, talking about it. Like I've said before in previous videos, I think I erased those videos because I didn't think they were relevant anymore. But they were, but I just felt like I needed to take them down. Which you really can't never erase anything off the internet, but it is what it is. Because somebody's going to download it somewhere. But I had a visitor. And when I had that visitor, everything changed for me. Everything changed for me. And I was experiencing depression because I felt like I was so attached to certain things and certain people that I felt like I was lonely and don't nobody love me and didn't nobody care, when I had to realize, did you come down here for all that? Or did you come through your mother's womb? Did you come down here in the way you came? Did you come down here with all the chaos for all that to sit up here and be talking about, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, nobody love me. I don't have friends. No, you didn't. You did not. You came down here for the elevation of consciousness. You didn't come down here for that. Now, if you meet friends along the way, that is beneficial. That's a plus. But I'm going to be honest, I thrive better when I'm alone. I thrive better by myself. There are times that I am going to hook up with other humans to engage in the elevation of consciousness for the planet, And I used to be like, I ain't talking about like, I will hook up with anybody who is trying to raise the elevation of consciousness of the planet, But I mean, it don't hurt I do better when I'm by myself. I thrive better. I think better. I learn better. I feel better. Because I was losing friends. People didn't understand me. They was calling me weird. People was calling me devil worshiper. I mean, I had so much, like the church told everybody not to deal with me because I was devil worshiper. To where when they see me, they be like, oh my God. Not everybody, but a lot of them would. I mean, but that's the way it was supposed to be. And, I feel like the ladies, the queens, the grandmother, they allowed me to go through those channels of religion. First, because I hadn't dealt with religion until I was like 28, 27 years old. I attempted to get into it in my earlier 20s, but I was like, hell to the no! I'm fucking with that shit. It's horrible. But I went in it, and I feel like they allowed me, but it made me weak. It made me vulnerable. It made me open to abuse for other people because I am giving my power to another being, Yaldabaoth, that really disguises itself as Jesus and all that old other crap, something that doesn't even exist. I'm giving my power to this being, and it weakened me. It like I said, it opened the door for me to be abused or allow myself to be abused by other people. And I learned really quickly what happens to people when they are involved in religion. So I appreciate the lesson, but as a dark matter being, I'm not a light worker or none of that stuff. Now, I will shed light and bring fire. Like Prometheus, I bring the fire so you can learn. I'm the serpent in the garden that's telling you to open your goddamn eyes so you can be just like God or better. Okay, so I feel like that's the type of energy I bring. I'm not a light worker. I'm not. I was trying to be a light worker, and that shit was not working for me. Wasn't working. Now, I do operate with crystals at times and use them for different purposes and reasons, but I'm not a light worker. I'm a dark worker. I'm a deep space nine, dark matter, dark worker. The dark womb goddess. That's who I am, okay? I'm a dark worker. It is what it is. And I don't apologize or feel sorry for it. I'm excited about it. And I'm happy. And I'm really, really happy, you guys, because I am being who I am, who I'm supposed to be in this body. My soul is pleased at this point because I have accepted the role that I play in this lifetime. Now, I'm not this body. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to have this beautiful, sexy body. You know what I mean? And I'm beautiful inside and out and all that good stuff. And I can come down here and play and eat and drink and do whatever I want to do. I can wear wigs if I want to. And I do have hair, you guys. I'm like, what the hell, girl? But I can come down here and be free and have fun. And not feel restricted or feel like I have to live up to somebody. Is it back on right, y'all? Because, I got to be gorgeous. But anyway, I can do what I want to do. And I don't have to feel like I'm restricted, to anybody's rules, Yeah, I was tricked into the matrix. I was tricked into a social security number and all that bullshit. But as far as I feel, what's the point of trying to undo all that when the Dark Mother is coming to take her stuff back, which is starseed, star-dusted, melanated beings. So why am I worried about a system that's going to the wayside? I don't care. Because my concern is what my mama wants. And what my mama wants is what my mother gets. So, with that being said, this is Kali, the Dark Womb Priestess. And you guys take care of yourself, be true to yourself, and play your role. And know what that role is. And be true to you. Because when you're not true to yourself, you're extremely unhappy and it shows. You try to hold it in, but it will show. So don't worry about what anybody else say. Worry about what your soul is telling you. Okay? Because all these distractions that's happening, don't get me wrong, I hate what's going on with our people. Like I heard about the Mississippi thing where the black man's head was found on somebody's steps and his body was burned. I hate that it's going on, but at the same time, I'm not about to be distracted with all that. It may sound cruel. I'm a chaos being, and it is what it is. And I have to stay focused. Like I said, I have to keep my eyes on the prize, which is myself, but I have to stay focused because there are so many distractions going on. The KKK is a distraction. What's going on in the world with the people? Because you got black people killing black people. So while we get all caught up on white folks and the stuff that they doing, ain't our people killing each other? Don't we get mad at each other for petty stuff? Don't we still argue and squabble over petty differences? Ain't we still divided and conquered? Just saying. So on that note, I love you. Guard your soul. Okay? Don't be conformed to this body. It's your house, your spacesuit, your shell that you have to live in, and follow the blueprint that your soul has laid out for you. Because it's just like if I cut myself, I don't feel pain because I'm a soul operating in a body. Okay, it's kind of like on Men in Black when the little alien was in the head and you thinking, oh my God, we would have never known it was like that. Oh, I cut this body. It's bleeding now. And it hurts the body, but it doesn't hurt me. And realize that you are one with all things. You are one with all things. From, I don't want to say that wrong, but from a wall to an insect to an animal to the trees to the grass to food to people, you are one with everything. We all may be different on the outside, but we are all one. Okay? So, I love you guys. Later. And I will see y'all on my next. Later.